Figure I would join you all this morning again for another little chit chat. Nothing in particular to talk about. It's sometimes it can be a good start to the day. You know, they always say, I think it's the first hour of your day is very, very important, and it sets the tone for the rest of the day. And I've been up for a little over an hour, but this can be sometimes kind of therapeutic. Even though I actually woke up feeling very good this morning, very, very good, much better than yesterday morning. Yesterday morning was the very first, and it could just be in my mind, but the very first day of Mercury being direct. So yesterday was still a little bit rough. Night before last, man, I had the weirdest nightmares. You know, got a real good night's sleep last night. Got a bunch of work to do today, a bunch of readings to do, as I just decided to go crazy on my channel yesterday and did like seven videos on my channel. And of course, I wasn't really thinking about how many emails that would pull in. So I got quite a few readings to do today. So, anywho, what's up, y'all? East Coast in the house. Yeah, East Coast. Man, I lived there for a little bit. I missed the nature. I lived up in Maine. And matter of fact, that's where I lived when I very first started doing this. Started reading tarot on YouTube. And I lived in Maine. And I miss that nature, dude. But boy, I don't miss the wintertime up there. Don't miss that, man. I worked at a car wash. And that's, again, what I was doing when I very first started reading tarot. But I worked at this car wash, and up there, I had never heard of this. Where I'm from, it's nothing like this, like in the southern Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky area. I had never heard of anybody getting their car washed in the wintertime. I had never heard of it. Maybe that's just me, but dude, okay, so up there in Maine, they had this special stuff they would put on the roads to melt the ice and the snow, and it's not like regular salt. You know how most places will put salt on the roads. Well, this wasn't like regular salt. It was this weird calcium shit that they would put on the roads, and it would get up and corrode people's brake lines. And everybody would always come to get their car washed. And I'd be like scrubbing cars, dude, like 300 cars a day I would scrub, out in the snow, cold, wet. Oh, it sucked, man. I don't miss I don't miss that wintertime on the East Coast, New Hampshire, yeah. I was right near there. Yeah, calcium chloride. Okay, yeah. I knew it was something like that that I'd never heard of. It blew me away. I was like, what do you mean people get their cars washed in the wintertime? What the hell's the point? Isn't that a waste of time? Like, you drive around and all the shit just flings up on your car gets dirty every day. I never washed mine in the wintertime. It was like, it's the stuff they put on the roads. It gets up under the car and corrodes the brake lines. So they got to get it washed off, that undercarriage spray. They come through to get it washed off every day so the brake lines don't corrode. And I was like, oh, man. So, yeah. When I lived up there every winter, oh, dude, I'm talking all day, every day, scrubbing cars, getting wet, in the cold. Oh, it sucked, man. Morning, everybody. How you doing? I don't really have anything to talk about. I had a pretty smooth little chat yesterday morning, so I figured why not? Let's go get on here and talk to some people this morning. For those of you who don't know, this is the channel that the secondary part of my business runs off of. If you come to me for a personal reading, I do it unlisted on this channel. I'll put your reading up on this channel here as an unlisted video and send it to you. So that's the main reason I created this channel, because I used to do personal readings off of Facebook, and then Facebook flagged me. So I was like, well, how am I going to do this then? So I made this channel mainly with the sole purpose of this channel being to put personal readings on and whatnot. But I get on here and chit chat from people from time to time. Manifesting a warm climate. There you go, man. I tell you what, though. Be careful what you wish for. See, I live here in Vegas, and actually it's surprisingly chilly, but it's nowhere near what's going on in the rest of the country. Like, as a matter of fact, you can see out my window there. I mean, there's no snow on the ground. It's chilly out there. I would imagine it's probably maybe 50 degrees. Chilly. It's chilly, but it's nowhere near like the winter. But when it comes to a warm climate in the summer here, ooh, dude, man, I don't like it. I don't like it. Leah loves it. She loves it. This right here to me is what fall feels like over there on the East Coast, you know? When it very first starts turning into fall and the leaves start changing color and it gets down to like 50 degrees and you wear like a jacket and jeans, you know, hoodie and jeans weather. That's what this is here in the wintertime. But in the summertime, dude, ooh, you talking, I don't wear shoes, flip-flops, can't wear shoes. Oh, can't wear shoes unless I'm working out, unless I'm doing like some workouts or whatever. That's the only time I'll put shoes on, but flip-flops all day long because it's so hot, man. And I'll get the flip-flop tan line on my feet, you know? Yeah, so I mean, some people do love the warm climate. I don't like the hot desert heat. Not real big on it. I'm getting used to it though. I'm learning to like it. You just gotta dress for it, you know. Arizona is amazing. Arizona is amazing. Actually, we were talking last night. We didn't want to leave Arizona. We didn't want to leave. The only reason that we left is because we got my kids back, which was a very sudden change. We got my kids, and we were wanting a bigger place for 2 adults, 2 kids, and 2 cats. You know, so we upgraded to this apartment. It was the first apartment that would let us in as quick as possible. We had to break the lease on a 1-bedroom apartment, and it was just a small, still way too small. I mean, it was 3-bedroom. I did have 1 studio. One of the rooms was my studio that I, work in, like this room here. But it was still too small for all of us. So this was right when the lockdowns first started happening, and we looked everywhere, dude, for a house. Looked everywhere. You name it, we looked there. And we kept applying for houses all throughout Arizona, all throughout California. And we came this close to getting this house in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. And then somebody snatched it out from under us because they put their move-in date as just 1 week sooner than what we were looking to move in. So we were about to get it, and then somebody snatched it out from under us, and I was pissed. We didn't want to leave Arizona. So finally, I just let it go. I was like, okay, whatever. Y'all hear me all the time make the analogy, like, you go knock on the door, metaphorically speaking, when you want to manifest something new, you got to go up to the door and knock on it and wait until the universe opens the door. So we done plenty of knocking and banging on all these doors, trying to get into a house. So finally, after about a week, maybe 2 weeks, she goes, okay, I don't know if you're going to really like this idea, but what about Vegas? I said, I don't care where we go. I don't give a damn. I don't care where we go. She said, well, they got some nice houses in Vegas. I said, well, that was only, we were just living in Bullhead City at the time, Arizona, which is an hour, 20 minutes south of here. So it really wasn't too far away. I said, I don't give a damn where we go. We got to get into something bigger than this little apartment. So she said, okay. So she started applying, and this was the very first place that would let us in. Very first place. We didn't get to come tour the place. We didn't get to nothing. Like I said, right when the lockdowns first happened, this was the first place that would approve us. So we paid the security deposit. We paid everything to get in here, and we didn't even get to see the place. We didn't even get to tour the place until the day we moved in, and it turned out to be much nicer than we thought. We saw pictures of it online and whatnot, and it actually turned out it was a little bit much, a little bit much. I've learned firsthand, what abundance really is, and it ain't all it's cracked up to be honest with you. It's not. People, that's one of those cute little fluffy phrases that gets tossed around the spiritual community. Abundance, abundance, abundance. Well, when you get a firsthand taste of what abundance really is, it's not necessary. It's not necessary. It's a bit much. but this is what we were dealt with. So this is what, okay, all right. So anyway, I trailed off of Arizona is amazing, dude. Oh man, we want to go back. We want to go back. Doc Lop. Thank you, Pauline. Afternoon. It's morning here. It's like 6:30 a.m. here. But anyway, yeah. So we didn't want to. We're looking at maybe going back to Arizona at some point. You know, just whenever that doorway opens. Sedona, yeah, Sedona's really super pretty. Sedona's pretty. I've never really been to a place there in Arizona that's not pretty. Come to think of it, I mean, I'm sure there's got to be some place that's not all that great to look at, but everywhere I've been in Arizona is gorgeous, dude. Gorgeous, beautiful. But same thing there. In the majority of the state, at least everywhere that I've been, it's a desert. It's a desert. It's dry and hot. You know, so yeah, that can take some getting used to. I love the desert, but the heat and the dryness. If you're used to like a more humid climate like me, I grew up right next to the Ohio River. Okay, extremely humid where I'm from, extremely. So moving straight out, well, not straight out. I've been bouncing around all over the place, but I was still more accustomed to there being humidity in the air. So when I very first moved to the desert, get used to needing chapstick, you know. Chapstick is until your body adapts. And my nose would crack and bleed. Like I would get nosebleeds like crazy. Like what in the hell? Because I can literally, out here, and I can pour, on a hot summer day, I can pour water on the ground and watch it evaporate. Swear to God, dude. Swear. Northern New Mexico. I ain't been to New Mexico in a minute. I was a little kid last time I was there. Oh, but anywho, I don't know how long I'm going to be on here. What y'all up to, man? What y'all up to? I got a lot of work to do today. I will be public, though. I slacked for the longest time. Like, I would always just, like, if I had, a day of a lot of personal readings, which, like I have today, I have, like, 5 so far. I don't know. She hasn't printed everything out. But I would always be like, oh, I can't go public today. I got too many personal readings. No, I ain't doing that no more. No, I'm not doing that no more. You know? Oh, I feel rested up though. My body is just now starting to get, remember how I told you yesterday, I had some soreness going on from my workouts. And I still got maintenance workouts to do, push-ups and stuff like that. But it's so funny how this works, man. The fitness journey I've been on is very fascinating. Very, very fascinating. The changes, the slow changes my body has been going through is very interesting. And this is another one of those days my body's finally, like maybe 75% of the soreness is gone. I still have a lot of soreness in my chest, but I'm gonna wake up in the morning with most of my soreness gone, and then Coach Drew's gonna hit me again. It's so fascinating, dude. Very interesting. Must be draining to do 5 personal readings. It used to be back in the day. It used to be. I don't know. I feel like, speaking of fitness, doing what I do, it can be like doing mental push-ups, mental push-ups. And I kind of learned to adapt that mental strength after a while. It was a slow process. Like I said, I'm still, I think, I really don't know who all's reading tarot anymore because, like I said, I pretty much quit watching everybody. But as far as I know, I'm still one of the newer people. Newer. I'm not one of the OG tarot card readers. So I haven't been doing this 4 or 5 years like all the other people, with their 200, 300, 400,000 subscriber channels. They've been doing this like 4 or 5 years. I haven't. I've only been doing this for 2 years. So I don't know if this is normal, but it's taken me a while. It's taken me up until about the past 3 or 4 months to be able to really strengthen my mind to where, yeah, it can get draining, but I've learned how to pull it back together, Learn how to pull it back together, so that drain doesn't really affect me quite as bad as it used to, So, yoga. Never done yoga before, honestly. Never done yoga. Ooh, man. So, let's see what y'all are talking about here. I'm more talented than the rest. I don't know, man. I appreciate it, but I don't really know if you would consider it a talent per se. I touched on this yesterday that I've always wanted to try to make it a point to bring something different to the table. Extremely difficult, extremely difficult. But the only thing that I really can do, I mean, yes, pretty much every reader's out there. There's this much room for originality in the tarot community. However, like I tell everybody, my primary foundation is not tarot card reading. My primary foundation is working with the laws of energy behavior. Okay, I've been doing that since long before I could tell you anything about these cards. I have been studying and applying the laws of energy to my own life. Okay, like I told you all yesterday, I've been homeless, in and out of psych wards. I have a very, very dark story behind me. So that was what I originally set out to do, was learn the laws of energy behavior and frequency equalization, or in simple layman's terms, law of attraction, and apply it to my life. And the minute I sat down and said, I'm going to manifest a business, even at that point, I didn't even know anything about tarot cards. Didn't know anything about them. So when I said I'm going to manifest a business, the universe said, all right, well, we're going to have to drag you down a couple of weird paths in order to get you there. And it turned out this is what universe had in mind for me. So when I approach readings, the perspective I approach it from isn't just, oh, this is what happened, here's what's happening now, and this is what is going to happen to you. Because like I said, before I ever even started reading tarot, I'm very aware that we have much, much more power over our life experiences than somebody, a psychic or a tarot card reader, telling you what's going to happen to you. That is a very, very narrow thread of focus to look down, Like one little timeline that you're on right now, and you're not even taught how to switch timelines, change timelines, create certain outcomes and things like that. So that's the biggest thing that I have thought to bring to the table in the tarot community, Yeah, the cards are a tool. I use these, I tell people this all the time, I use these pretty much the same thing a mechanic uses as a little diagnostic tool if you take your car to a mechanic shop, Like, you pull into the shop and be like, yo, mechanic, my car is acting up. It sputters at the stoplight, it starts shaking when I get up to 40 miles an hour. Every now and then a pop comes out of the tailpipe. What the hell's going on, So he plugs the diagnostic machine up to it and says, I see what's wrong. Your cylinder 4 is fouling out, your map sensor's fucked. Okay, well, have a good day. It looks like your car's gonna break down. That's what most tarot card readers do. They go, well, this is what's gonna happen. Hold up, dude. Can't we fix the problem? Yes, we can. That's what I do. That's what I do. Yes, we can fix the problem. The only difference between me and a mechanic is I can't fix it for you. I can't. It doesn't work that way. But that's the best analogy that I can think to. Yes, the cards are a tool, or a diagnostic tool, basically, is the way I use it. This is where we are. This is how we got here. Oh, and if you don't make any changes to your energy, this is the pathway you're headed down. However, if you want to make changes to your energy, which I would assume, I would feel very safe betting the vast majority of us would love to make changes in our lives, right? Want to see something new, want to create something new. I would feel very safe betting that the vast majority of us would love to do that. Okay, so here's what you can do. If you want to create a certain outcome, no, you more than likely cannot have that relationship with the specific person that you want. Okay, that involves free will, and you can't infringe on somebody's free will, but you can get onto a pathway that attracts your vibrational match to you. And here's how you do it. No, you may not be able to be successful financially with that one business idea. That's kind of a crapshoot. However, yes, you can get to a point where doorways of possibility open and the universe lines you up with something to do for a business that suits you. See what I'm saying? And here's how we do that. I can lift the hood. I can show you the part that's fucked up. I can hand you the tool and say, okay, you don't have to get your hands dirty. It's not a fun process. It's not a fun process. But here's how you take that part out, and then you got to go over there and get the new part and put the new part in. I tell you, I can guide you through it, but I can't do it for you. I hope that was a fair analogy. That's the best way I can think to explain it. So, yeah, the cards are a tool. Pretty interesting, though. But the thing about it is, and here's the funny thing, the only reason I ever even learned these things to begin with was just to try to get clarity on my own situation. That's it. Because I would sit around and watch the YouTube readers, you know, obsessively, and I never got the clarity that I wanted. So I was like, dude, you know what? I can't afford a personal reading. I was making minimum wage. I could barely afford dinner every day, you know? So I was like, but I can afford a deck of tarot cards, and you bet your ass I'm going to learn these things. And then I'm going to get the clarity that I want, you know? That's the only reason I ever even started learning them. Was just to gain clarity on my own situation. Now, though, I can't read my own shit. I can't, dude. I swear, if I try to, like, what happens, if I start trying to read my own situation, this is what happens every time. It's crazy, dude. My own fears will come through the cards, you know? Like what I'm afraid of. The worst case, like, I'll start thinking, oh, well, what if this happens? What if this bad thing happens? And you know, what we do with our minds when we travel down the what if path, you know, especially negatively. And then that's what happens. If I try to read one of my situations, it'll play out the worst case scenario that I was fantasizing in my mind. I can't read it. And it turns out to be inaccurate every time, you know? So I can't read my own shit. Don't really want to, though. That's the thing. That's another thing. I don't really care to. I don't really want to know what's going to happen to me. I like to feel like I'm in control. I like to feel like I'm the one in control of creating my future and things like that. So yeah, it got to the point to where I don't really want to know. I don't really pick these things up to try to figure out what's going on in my own life. I don't do that. And I definitely don't use it to spy on people, you know? Absolutely not. I view that as a very, very big no-no. A very big no-no. A very big no-no. A lot of people want to do that. A lot of people want to do that. But I just personally, and maybe this is just my own personal opinion, I'm just going to leave that up there for speculation. But I just personally believe that that's very morally wrong to use anything in the metaphysics just for your own benefit and not to help anybody. You know? Anytime you want to tap into universe or source or do anything metaphysical, there has to be a good cause behind it and not just for my own selfish benefit. Just me. Just me. Maybe there could be some of you watching and think, oh, well, I spy on people all the time. And I don't see anything wrong with it. Okay, that's cool. I personally believe that that's morally wrong. It's just me. Just me. Anywho. Boom, boom, boom. Been binging on Dr. Joe Dispenza. Yeah, man, there you go. There you go. He was one of my very first big influences. When I very first stumbled on the law of attraction, you can still find the video on YouTube to this day. The title is, I Saw the Law of Attraction in My NDE. That's what it was. I used to be real fascinated with near-death experiences and studying life after death and stuff like that. And this was long before any spiritual awakening. This is kind of what led me down the path. And I was looking up things like that. And I saw her video. It said, I saw the law of attraction in my NDE. It's just a short little video that it's not really in depth. Not really. There's nothing particularly special about it, but it was the first time I'd ever heard about this. And I'm like, what? You know? And so she's the very first, the catalyst that pushed me onto that path, Terry Rose. And then from there, I want to say Bob Proctor. I'm trying to think. I want to say Bob Proctor from that point. Because it wasn't too long after that. It was several months after that I started playing with it that I ran into Bob Proctor. And then Dr. Joe Dispenza was right in there with him. It was some of the first, because people always ask me all the time, like they think that I just went to one person. No, I didn't just go to one person. I whenever I become obsessed with something like that, I will just dive in and just get all the information that I can from anybody that has any kind of information, you know, and that's just the way I do it, you know, and that's what I did for reading tarot. I sat and watched. I had a list of about 15 or 20 readers that I would watch, you know, and that's when I learned to read. I would just binge watch about 15 or 20 tarot card readers, play with different ideas. See, does this work for me? Nah, it doesn't work for me. How about this? Nah, not really. And there's a lot of things, well, I'm not really feeling anybody's. Well, let me try this. Let me just make something up, you know, and oh, this thing works for me, you know? It makes sense? So, yeah, Dr. Joe, the cool thing about him, okay, hold up. The cool thing about Dr. Joe that I like is that he's one of, there are many, he's one of the people who has the credentials to bridge the gap between mysticism and science. You know, my other favorite was, and this dude, he really, really helped me out. Eben Alexander. That dude is a huge, huge asset in the awakening community because he is a neurosurgeon. He spent, I'm gonna quote this the best that I can. I hope I don't get any information wrong. But his dad was a neurosurgeon. He grew up in the field of neuroscience and neurosurgery, and he spent 15 years teaching neurosurgery at Harvard Medical School. So he was a real hardcore brain person. You know, the brain creates consciousness. The consciousness is just this fictitious thing that is a result of, you know, synapses firing and whatnot, and it's all created inside the brain. And once the brain dies, there's nothing. It just lights out, you know. And he had an NDE. Of his own. And then he returned from the afterlife, and he should have died. There is, like he says, there is no way. He suffered from a meningoencephalitis. It was a severe bacterial meningitis that kills people, shuts the brain down, completely shuts down the neurocortex, and completely just tears your brain to shreds. And he somehow survived it. And he came out, they said he would have like no chance of survival. And even if he did survive, he'd be like a vegetable. But he came out of it and made like a 10,000% recovery. And he says, I'm going back and looking at my brain scans and looking at everything that happened to me. According to what we're taught and what I spent my entire life learning and believing, there's no way I should have had any kind of experience at all, let alone, like, he said, where I went was more realistic than this. My consciousness expanded to the point to where I shouldn't have had any kind of experience at all. And here I found myself with my consciousness expanded to the point to where it's incomprehensible. He said, and I'm going back and looking at my brain scans, and according to what we're taught about neurosurgery and neuroscience and the conventional mainstream reductive materialist science, I shouldn't have had any kind of experience at all. He said, so he was a big one, this huge neurosurgeon that can tell you everything that they think they know about the brain, you know. And he says, no, I'm living proof that that's all bullshit. The brain does not create consciousness. The brain serves as a reducing valve or filter that allows consciousness in, a slim little trickle of consciousness, you know. So, yeah, Eben Alexander, E-B-E-N Alexander. Y'all look him up. He's not real big on like law of attraction or anything like that, but he's just yet another person, kind of like Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe has a pretty fascinating story too. If you hear how he got into what he's doing, and again, I don't want to get any information wrong, so I'm quoting to the best of my memory. But I believe was he hit by a car on a bike? I think. He was bike racing and got hit by a car and it broke his back. And he was like, I don't remember if he was paralyzed or what happened, but he just started saying to himself, you know, I believe that I'm part of an intelligence, There's for my heart to beat, for my, all these things that happen inside of me. That's not happening to me, that's me. So I should be able to tap into this and basically heal myself. Something to that effect. Again, I'm not trying to quote him. I don't want to, give you any misinformation. Look it up yourself. But like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Eben Alexander, they're two very, very, very important assets that can bridge the gap between mysticism and science. And, there's a big gap between the two. And like I said, there's many of them out there. Oh, Sam Parnier. Dr. Sam Parnier was another big one. I haven't heard of him in a while, but he started the Human Consciousness Project, where he was doing all sorts of experiments with people on the brink of death and stuff like that. Man, I haven't heard from him in a while. He was another big one, but anyway. What's up, Mary? How you doing? What's happening? Yeah. Anyway, though. Yeah, so there's all kinds of people out there, man, and that's what I did when I was on my path. I was just your average, and I still am, just your average everyday person. I was lost, had no idea, and I just started following everybody. And you learn to follow your gut. You learn to kind of follow your intuition, and that's when you're put in a position that I was in, where I had no friends, had no family. Nobody that really gave a shit about me. It was me and the universe. And here I am traveling the United States with a backpack full of clothes, all by myself. One wrong move and I'm dead. I have nobody. It's nothing but me and my intuition. You learn real quick how to decipher who's telling the truth and who's full of shit, Real quick. You learn real quick. When it's life or death, you learn real quick how to communicate with your intuition, So... Trying to think of some, because I'm really trying to remember everything right now, because people ask me these things so many times, who inspired me, who did I follow, who taught me, all these types of things, man. And there were so many people, but anyway, anywho, now it's weird being one of those people, dude, but I always kind of knew that I was going to be in some sort of position to help guide and assist people. I knew it. It just felt like this fire burning in me, that I knew I had some sort of message to send that people needed to hear. I didn't just hope for it. I wasn't just wanting. I just knew. I've known it, my whole path. It was just like this fire that burned in me. For the longest time, nobody wanted to listen to a damn thing I had to say. And for the longest time, like I would speak on something that had to do with manifestation or attraction, vibration, frequency equalization, and people would just kind of laugh at me. Oh, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about, And then them tables turned real quick. It's the only thing you've been passionate about in a long time. What's that, Rachel? Yeah, I feel you. Nacho mama. Yeah. What's up, people? Thanks for tuning in, y'all. I don't know, again, how long I'm going to be. I might stay on for a full hour this morning, maybe. See, it's Sunday. Here soon. I don't know when I kind of got to be quiet, too, because my youngest daughter, her room is right on the other side of that wall. So I don't want to wake her up. But whenever the kiddos get up, I got to feed them breakfast. And then might make Leah breakfast, depending if she wants to eat or have coffee. But yeah, I might stay on for a full hour this morning. Yeah, law of attraction is my specialty. Yeah, yep, that's what I tell people. And I have been, like I said yesterday, and I was reading through your all's comments too on my chat yesterday, and it made sense. Like I said, I've been coming to you guys and wanting to engage more, because I'm a stubborn, hard-headed ass Aquarius. Okay, every last one of us. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your sign is. We all have challenges. We all have things that come with our energies that challenge us. And one of my challenges as an Aquarius is being a stubborn, hard-headed know-it-all. It's just the nature of the beast. But I always say that it's our responsibility. I don't care if you're an Aquarius or if you're a Sagittarius, Aries, Virgo, Pisces, I don't care who you are. It's your responsibility to identify those challenges and work to overcome them. So having said that, I'm very stubborn, very hard-headed. I really don't like listening to other people's opinions or other people's perspectives or their viewpoints. And I've just been feeling spirit tell me, you got to step outside of your comfort zone. Step outside of your comfort zone. Tell that ego brain to shut up and engage with the audience more. So that's why I took some polls and asked some questions. Yesterday what I said was I got tired of hearing myself repeat myself. Because after a certain point, when it comes to like law of attraction, manifestation, frequency equalization, there's only so much you can say before I'm just repeating the same thing over and over and over and over and over, which, you know, and then a lot of you in the comments, I read a few people who said repetition is what reprograms you. And I got to thinking, you know what, you're absolutely right. You're right. It does. That is the whole point. That's the whole point of affirmations. That's the whole point of repetition, reprogramming that part of the subconscious mind. So by me getting annoyed at repeating myself over and over again, I'm kind of doing you guys a disservice. And I apologize. Because I did. I just got tired of hearing myself say the same things over and over and over and over and over and over. And I'm just like, man, I don't even want to talk about this shit anymore, you know? But a few of you brought that to my attention yesterday in the comment section, and that's very, very much, I'm glad I engaged, you know? I engaged and started asking you guys more what you want. Doesn't mean I'm gonna tell you what you want to hear though. But if you say, I'm looking for this kind of clarity, I want to hear, you know, talks or whatever on this particular subject, or I'm looking for this clarity in a reading, I'm wanting to engage more in what you guys are, the clarity that you're looking for, you know what I mean? So, I seem calmer. Well, it is very early in the morning, and Leah is asleep down the hall, and my daughter's room is on the other side of this wall here. Leah's room is far enough away, and she sleeps with earplugs because sometimes I snore, you know, so, but I still kind of want to remain kind of quiet, you know, but anyway, though, yeah, I'm pretty calm in the morning. This is like my alone time. This is my alone time. I love my alone time, dude, you know, and I'm an early bird anyway. I don't know why. Ever since I was in my late 20s, I want to say in my late 20s, I started just waking up at 5 a.m. every morning. I'm always an early bird, and I spend a few hours in the morning to just be by myself. Play on my phone, you know. Yeah, this is my alone time. This is my me time, you know. So, yeah, I like to chill out and relax and just kind of have time to myself every morning. This is how you know you're getting old, dude. This is what I say. My two favorite times of the day are the first thing in the morning when I get my alone time, and at night when me and Leah lay down in the bed to get ready to, you know, winding down time. Those are my two favorite times of the day. And I'm like, man, I sound like such an old fucker, you know? I just turned 33 on the 5th, so I'm not too old. I'm still young. And good. But my Virgo moon, maybe. Got Virgo moon and rising, dude. Virgo moon and rising. So I have a very heavy Virgo influence. Between that and Sagittarius, I have 3 planets in Sagittarius. I think this is the funny thing, if you look at my entire chart, the most dominant element is fire. The most dominant element. If you take all the elements, I have Venus in Pisces. I'm an Aquarius. My moon is Virgo. My rising is Virgo. Venus in Pisces. But I have 3 planets, and I forget which they are, in Sagittarius, and 1 in Aries. So that's 4 of one element, you know. I don't have that with any other element. So Anywho, been waking up at 3, 4 a.m. for 16 weeks. Damn, dude. Yeah, I got up at 3 yesterday. That's why I came on and chatted in the morning. I got up at 3. I normally don't like to do that. I normally like anywhere between 4:30 and 5 is typically like my earliest that I like to get up. So I need to shave. Anyway, 33, have 3 placements in Cancer. Yeah, that water energy though, man. That water energy can get the best of you. Like I said, I got that Venus in Pisces, boy. Pisces is a very complicated energy. Pisces is an extremely complicated energy. And I was explaining that to Leah the other night that, you know, a lot of times, and of course, my Aquarian energy wants to take over. You know, we all know that Aquarian energy really likes to, and I think Virgo is very, very similar in many ways, but the Aquarian energy obviously wants to take over and logically sift through emotions and figure them out. But when that Pisces, I can feel it. I can feel it. It's emotions that are so deep and intense, they don't make any sense, you know? And I don't like that, being the Aquarius that I am. I don't like it when I start feeling really deep, intense emotions that I can't put into words, that don't make any sense. And if I tried, it would make me sound like a fucking moron, you know? And I was having to explain that to Leah, because she has that's the sign that frustrates her the most, is Pisces. I was explaining to her, I was like, well, I got that Venus in Pisces, so I can very much understand the weird nature of Pisces people, you know, in many ways, because I can feel it when my Venus kicks me. I can feel it, dude. I can feel it, like, and I'll get quiet. And Leah's been so patient with me, dude. Like, I've never, ever had anybody be so patient and work with me when it comes to expressing my emotions. It's not something that I intentionally do. Okay, I used to explain these things before I started reading tarot. The videos that I would make would be talking about the sign of Aquarius, and they got some pretty good hits back in the day. And that's one of the things I kind of had a jump start. You know, when I started reading tarot, the YouTube algorithm already knew who I was, because my videos were pretty popular about Aquarius. I don't do it on purpose. Like, my automatic reaction without a second thought when an overwhelming emotion hits me is, shut up. Let's figure this out. It's my first reaction, you know? And there will be times where I will bottle up how I feel, like, all day long. And then in like one wrong move and pow, pop off, you know? And Leah's been so patient with me and explaining, look, how about we come up with a little code word, you know, whenever you start feeling a certain way. If you can't talk about it, if you can't express it, just give me a code word so I know, because poor Leah has no idea. Because I can be feeling something so intense and you wouldn't even have a clue. You wouldn't even know, you know, and I'll just keep it to myself and then let it out way later on, you know, and I've been getting way, way better at, okay, all right, well, you know, I'm feeling this way right now. Does that make any sense? I don't really know how to explain it that well, but yeah, that's been one of my challenges. One of my challenges here lately. Yeah, me and Leah, that's the cool thing about us is that's what I was telling you. You remember the video where right after I proposed to her, and I was kind of explaining that, you know, it's not something that I take lightly. I'm not just gonna propose to somebody. The biggest difference between me and Leah and any other connection I've ever experienced is the way we get through our challenges together. Now well, I mean, I can't say it's the biggest difference, but that to me is the deal maker right there, is when we experience challenges, the way we handle it. Okay? We sit down and we talk and we go back and forth. And sometimes they're more challenging than others, but we talk and we come up with solutions to work on things, and we grow together. It's like at the end of any challenge that we experience, our bond is stronger and tighter you know, where with most connections, every time you experience a challenge, it's like a crack in your windshield. You know, you're driving behind a dump truck and a rock flies out and cracks your windshield. You know, it cracks it, and then you experience another challenge. You hit it and it cracks it even. And every challenge weakens the connection until it finally shatters. Me and Leah aren't like that. We're not like that, and that's incredibly amazing to me. You know, we get a crack in the windshield, and then we say, okay, well, hold up. Let's work together as a team and fix this. And by the time we overcome a challenge, we're a better team. We're tighter. You know, we grow together, you know? So, yeah, it is amazing support. Very amazing, you know? But again, like I kind of touched on yesterday, it's not just me. Everybody has the potential to get on the frequency to bring your person in. Okay? You know, and I like to shy away from using phrases like person I'm meant to be with. I don't like that phrase because I don't care if you attract your person in. See that phrase when I say, who am I meant to be with? You could use that phrase, but you have to be careful because sometimes that can very easily influence people to kind of think that there's this person who's supposed to be with you. And once they show up, oh, you're supposed to be here. So we're just going to be together forever no matter what. No. Even if you attract your person, you're still one decision away from fucking the whole thing up. You know what I mean? However, that person of yours, that match, is the person you still have to put forth work and effort. Me and Leah still work to be a team. We still work to have what we have, and we still put forth work and effort to you know what I mean? We don't just get to kick our feet back and say, oh, okay, it's all good and well. We're just going to be together forever no matter what. I can do whatever I want. You can do whatever you want. No, it doesn't work that way, you know? It doesn't work that way at all. It doesn't work that way at all. But I'm willing to put forth the work. You know, I absolutely am, because I see the potential. That's one of the things. Sometimes I'll read potential. What kind of potential do the two of you have? Okay, just because, yeah, there's the potential for you to be with this person for the rest of your life and build this amazing empire together and get married and have a family. There's a lot of potential there, but if you don't utilize that potential doesn't mean diddly shit. You know, doesn't mean diddly shit. You know, you think Michael Jordan, you know, became who he was, he just woke up one day and said, well, yeah, I think I'm going to be the greatest basketball player that ever lived today. Okay, cool. You know, no, he had potential. He had potential, and he worked his ass off until, you know what I mean? Does that make any sense? Hope so. I hope so. I'll get some incense going. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Waiting for your vibrational match. Don't do that. Don't wait, Janine. Don't wait. We talked about this yesterday. Don't wait. Don't wait on them. In order to get on that frequency, remember everything that happens out here. Everything. The car you drive, the house you live in, the money you make, the connections that you have with your friends and family, and especially the romantic connections. They are all one facet of a reflection of the frequency that you're on. Okay? The universe is an inner dimension that consciousness emerges out of. I always use this example. People think it's kind of silly, but see this plant right here? At one point in time, all it was a pad sticking out of the ground here. Okay? Actually, at one point in time, it wasn't nothing but a seed. Where did all these pads come from? Where did these pads come from? Here this spring, most of these pads right here are going to grow new pads. Okay? Where do they come from? That pine tree out in my front yard. See it? It's a good 40 feet tall. It emerged out of a seed. Where'd you come from? I don't know about you, but about 32 years ago, I was about yay big. Where'd the rest of you come from? Think about it. When we think about the source, we need to stop thinking about it like it's out here somewhere, like it's up in the clouds. It's not. The source is an inner dimension that consciousness emerges out of into this dimension. All consciousness, all life. I don't care. You cannot give me one example where an organic piece of consciousness is put together from the outside world. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It's not put together from the outside world. It emerges out of the source. So if it emerges out of the source, if we are all emerging out of the source, then whatever vibration we're sending it, whatever we are thinking and feeling, we're sending straight to that source, whether we say it out loud or not. We're sending it straight to that source. I'm plugged into it. You're plugged into it. My plant over here is plugged into it. My cats are plugged into it. We are all emerging out of the same source into this dimension. So we have to be very careful what we say to it. So if I am sitting around waiting for something, the universe says, oh, Rich likes waiting. Okay. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Whatever I am actively doing, the universe is giving me whatever tools I need to do that. If I'm pursuing relationships, okay, well, I need something to pursue, so relationships are going to run from me. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. But how do I get on the frequency to have my vibrational match? What is it that I really want? What I really want is somebody to come along and be in a relationship with Rich. That's what I want. So how do I match that frequency in here? I have to do it in here first. I have to do it in here first. I have to form a relationship with Rich on my inside world in order for it to manifest in my outside world. I'm giving you all a lot of things that I talk about in personal readings, so I don't really want to give up too much of it because this is pretty valuable information, but I dig into it and it gets much more deep and complex than that, but yeah, that's the way it works, man. That's the way it works. You have to think matching the frequency of something, okay? And we do it with money all the time. We do it with money all the time. If my number one thought is I need money, the universe is not going to give me money. The universe is going to give me more need money. See what I'm saying? The universe is a mirror. A mirror. We need to quit trying to talk to the universe like it's out here, because it's not. Think about it. And it's my personal contention. I feel like it's a fact, but just so I'm not being too cocky and arrogant, it's my personal opinion that once we really, really, really get that perspective of the source as a seed planted in everybody's mind, then we'll really wake up. I mean, we're already waking up anyway, but then that will really, really help people understand. Oh, that's how it works. Okay, it's not out here. So if I say, I need help. Oh, Rich likes needing help. Okay, here you go, Rich. Here's some more situations in life where you need help. You're absolutely right. You do need help. Your wish is my command. You need help. I'm lonely. You're absolutely right. Your wish is my command. You're lonely. Here you go. See what I'm saying? We have to pay attention. Remember, the source is not out here. The source is in here. Because we hear these things all the time and nobody explains it in a way that we can understand it. You know, you hear all these cute little fluffy terms thrown around the spiritual community and nobody really fully gets it. Okay, so whenever you hear people say things like, you are part of the universe, we're all one, we're all connected. What does that really, really mean? It sounds cute. Sounds cute as hell, but what does it really mean? Break it down in a way that I can understand it. Okay, have you ever played any kind of virtual reality game at all? Okay, I remember when I did it for the first time down in Phoenix. It really, really helped me understand. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. It's like you're behind the virtual reality mask, okay? And it's an inner dimension. It's in here. I say, what do you mean the universe is inside of me? I got blood and guts inside of me. What are you talking about? It's an inner dimension that consciousness emerges out of. So pay very close attention to what you're thinking and feeling on a daily basis. Just monitor it. Just be that third piece of awareness in your mind. Just pop away from it and pay attention to where your mind is going. Pay attention to what you're feeling. That's all you got to do. That's where you got to start. You know, oh man, I'm in a shitty vibration today. Damn, I'm thinking lots of negative thoughts. Okay, all right, well, let's try to rein that back in. Let's start forcing some more positive thoughts in there, you know? And again, that's not a way to flip a switch and make things happen magically overnight. What we're doing is we are retraining the mind how to think, that subconscious part of you. After a while, you don't have to force those thoughts anymore. You know? But anywho, a word is like a bullet. Well, a word, sound is vibration. Okay? Sound is vibration. Everything is vibration. What a word does is it gives the vibration more strength. Like, it's like taking that guitar, my black one there, which you can plug it up. I can sit and play it. I can pluck a string on it, but if I plug it into an amplifier, boom, it makes the vibration even louder. It amplifies it. That's what your words do. Your words amplify what you're feeling. And you know what I mean? That makes sense? So, yeah, I guess you could look at it like that. Yep. So, anyway, I'm glad that y'all are getting something out of these talks. Again, I can't promise that I'm gonna do it every single morning. I used to, and then, you know, I start getting into it. I'll chat a couple of times and I'll be like, all right, well, I'm gonna start doing this. And then I stop doing it because I'm not feeling it, but I'm glad it helps. That's all I really need. That's my job, man. That's my job. You know that saying that if you feel like you don't fit into this world, it's because you were here to create a new one. And I'm living proof that that's true. That's true. You know, looking back on my life and my story, I was always, from birth, dude, the weird one. I've always been the weird one. I was that kid, like in school. I don't know if anybody's watching me that knew me way back in the day, but I was that kid that nobody liked for no reason. I was just so different. If you got caught associating with me, nobody liked you either. You know, I was bullied real bad. I was really seriously bullied as a kid. And no matter what, all the way up through my childhood, my teenage years, all throughout my 20s, I was just, no matter where I went on the map, no matter what group of people I was involved in or engaged in, I've always been the weird one. And I didn't like it. People would always say, oh, being weird is good. Well, these are the people who are just tired of being normal and they wanted to break out of the norm. When you're born weird, I didn't want to be weird. I wanted for the longest time to know what it felt like to be normal. And the harder I tried, the more everybody could see through my bullshit, you know? So I never fit into this world. And I don't say that to brag. I wanted to. I wanted to be normal so bad. I just wanted to be like everybody else. I got so sick of being weird. And it is very interesting how that changed, you know, as I got older and got put into a position to where I can assist and just assist. You know, I don't claim to be this big special person. I'm just one of the people who are here assisting in the shift, which I don't know if y'all have noticed it yet, but you will here real soon. Here real soon, you're gonna start to see some things that blow your mind, okay? That's all I can say about that, but yeah, we're in a big shift right now. And basically from my perspective, all I've really been doing is helping you learn how to open your eyes and see, okay? And then for me, you're led to somebody else, and then from then you're led to somebody else to the point to where eventually you can spread your wings and fly. See what I'm saying? But if you would have told me, there's no way you could have told me, I don't think. There's no way, like if you had a time machine right now and you could go back in time and tell me, dude, Rich, man, you got to learn these cards, dude. You have no idea what I see you doing in 4 or 5 years. You're going to be this big, successful tarot card reader. You're going to make a good living. You're going to get your kids back, and you're going to have this amazing woman and all this stuff. I would have been like, that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. There's no way I'm doing that, you know? This was so out of the realm of anything that I could have ever even imagined possible. You know, thinking back on it, like, dude, there's no way I could have explained that to myself if I went back in time, you know? It's a total random accident. I can remember it like it was yesterday, dude. Well, like I said earlier, that I'm gonna tell you the story real quick and then I gotta go because it's a little over an hour. But back in September 2016, I got drunk as hell and put up a video on YouTube about Aquarius and totally forgot about it. Don't even remember putting it on YouTube. Fast forward 1.5 years later and a couple of trips across the country, I'm sitting there playing on my phone one day and my own video gets recommended to me. And I'm like, I don't remember putting that on YouTube. And it had like 20,000 views, which to me at the time was a lot of views, you know? And people, right around that time, people started hitting me up on Facebook. Do more videos about Aquarius and blah, 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 and this and that, you know? So that's what I started doing. I started putting out videos about Aquarius, and they would get some pretty good views, 5,000, 10,000 views a piece. Not the greatest, but pretty good, you know? And that's what I was doing. That's what I started doing. And then I got to the point, like I said, I don't like repeating myself, so I got tired, I got running out of things to talk about. But I had been, you know, obsessed with the tarot behind the scenes for, you know, throughout the whole process, and had already taken it upon myself to learn the tarot cards and was pissed off because I was getting the same answer for myself as the YouTube readings were giving me. It wasn't any different. It matched up just the same. And when I said, man, I'm running out of shit to talk about on my channel. I've said everything that I can think to say about Aquarius. I'm bored. The last business I just built crashed and burned. I have nothing to do. Maybe I'll just start, maybe I'll put a couple of tarot readings on YouTube, and this will give me something fun to do on my days off from the car wash. And that was the plan. The plan was to just put up a couple of tarot card reading videos on my days off, just to give me something to do. Because dude, in Maine, it's just like this big forest. It's just a forest, dude. It's just nothing but nature, and there's really not a whole lot to do. So pretty much the girl I was dating at the time had a teenage daughter. She was like 13 or 14, and she would sit in the house and like blare the TV all day, and it would drive me nuts. So I would just leave and walk around in the woods all day, you know? And when she started school, I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna finally have the house to myself. I'm gonna start playing with the tarot on YouTube. Maybe I can get a couple thousand people watching me. I remember I put a post on Facebook saying, my goal is to have 10,000 subscribers by Thanksgiving. That was a 2-month period from when I started. About a 2.5 month period. And I didn't even think, you know, I didn't even think it was gonna be possible. You know, I was like, man, yeah, watch. I'm gonna make myself look stupid. There ain't no 10,000 people gonna watch me in that short of a time, you know? Guess what? Thanksgiving rolled around, I had 50,000. It hit me like a ton of bricks, dude. It hit me like a ton of fucking bricks, and I didn't react to it very well at all. Those of you who've been following me from day one, you remember, I didn't react to it very well. It took me a while to get used to that, because it was a total surprise. A total fucking surprise. I never expected it to go anywhere. So I was so unexpecting it to go anywhere, I didn't even change my channel name. That was just Rich Lopp. That's my name that I had associated with my Google account. So by default, that's what my name of my YouTube channel was. You know, I would have done something like called it, I don't know, King of Swords Tarot, or I would have thought of some cool name or something to give it if I thought that it was gonna go anywhere, and it didn't. So now everybody knows my name. Now I can't really have I can't get on social media without my inbox being flooded, you know, and it overwhelmed me. It overwhelmed me, like real bad. I was like, whoa, what the hell, man? I'm getting hundreds and hundreds of messages a day on Facebook yeah, I didn't like it at first. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you guys. I didn't like it at first. I didn't prepare for it. It smacked me. It was just like a splash of cold water and a smack in the face, for my YouTube channel to take off real quick. And I was like, I don't even enjoy getting on the internet anymore. I can't stand getting on Facebook. That used to, the internet was my escape from reality. Like social media and Facebook and whatnot. It was my escape from reality. And then it got to the point to where I have no escape from reality. Because if I'm nervous and I'm anxious and I want to zone out and tune in on something else, I get on social media. Now it makes me even more nervous and anxious because tens of thousands of people are bombarding me all day, every day, and I just didn't react to it. It took me forever to get actually used to it like I am now. It means, I don't want to say it doesn't mean anything. I'm very, very thankful. So I can't think of a way to word it. It's just the new normal now. It's normal. Just the new me. It's been 2 years now, and anyway, I don't really know where I was going with that, but yeah, it's just, I don't even remember what it was like before I started doing this, because it's a little over 2 years now, and it's just normal to me, and I don't really think about it very much on a daily basis anymore. It's so normal. Ooh, 10 of Cups again. It's so normal to me now, I don't even really think about it. That's why, remember I told you yesterday that when I'm having to work on my social skills, because I do get recognized places, and it scares me. Like, whenever somebody walks up to me and goes, oh my God, I'm like, oh! And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Because I don't think about it. I'm not really thinking that you know who I am from YouTube. It freaks me out at first when people do that, Actually, this was so cool. Leah got approached one time. We were out eating somewhere, and I got up to walk to the bathroom, and a fan walked up with a YouTube video, one from this channel, and said, "Is this you?" Pointing to Leah. She wouldn't even approach me. She walked up to Leah and said, "Is this you?" And Leah said, "Yeah." She goes, "I knew that was you guys," So I don't know. It's interesting. It's definitely a lifestyle that I never, ever in a million years thought I was going to be in, have a lifestyle like this. But you can just tell, whenever, that's one of the things that I tell people about manifestation all the time is when you really get on the frequency to attract in the things that you want, the universe has something very special in store for you. And it's not going to be anything that you would ever be able to imagine or plan for. If you could imagine it or plan for it, you would already have it. See what I'm saying? So that's a big thing. Those of you who are manifesting success in life or in love or in whatever the case may be, that's why I say keep your radar on. Keep your radar on. The most valuable things will be unexpected. If you could expect it or plan for it, you would already have it. Think about that. On that note, I am going to go ahead and jump off of here, you guys. It's been a little over an hour. I do have to use the bathroom, and about time to start making pancakes for the kiddos. So I may be back on here later. I don't know. But either way, I'll catch y'all later. Have a good one.